Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Call Me When They Kiss. Today is our monthly bonus book episode, and Cindy and I will be discussing Say Yes to not the Marquess. We learned it's actually Marquess. Say Yes to the Marquess by Tessa Dare. Oh, I'm Issa, by the way.
And I'm
I already
Sydney.
said your name. Yeah, this is Sydney. And I'm excited for today's episode. I feel like, for some reason, with our bonus book episode, I feel like I can really truly say whatever I want, because if you are listening to our bonus book episode, number one, you're a loyal fan, and number two, if you you get us if you read as well. Like, somebody on our Bridgerton episode on YouTube, they were like, they actually start talking about Bridgerton 20 minutes in or something like that.
Yeah.
And I know the first 20 minutes we were talking about books. I was like, damn,
Yeah.
sorry. Isn't that what all podcasts do? You gotta have like a warm-up sesh, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway.
No, that was funny. I felt like roasted for a second, and then, yeah, I was like, bro, it's a podcast. Like, it's what we talk about.
Yeah, but you know what? We'll make sure to put timestamps on our next YouTube video. And by we, I mean Sydney. Sydney's the one that like uploads all our stuff. So
Yeah.
I guess we maybe. Sydney, will you add those?
Yes, I
For
will.
that-
I shall.
That person that complained.
Yeah, and I guess if any of you want to skip what we're saying, skip ahead. I guess I'll make
Yeah.
it easier for you. But you should listen, because before we get started on this book, we have some fun, well, a couple
There's some book
fun
news.
book news things to talk about, yeah.
Yeah, which one should we start with?
Let's save the best for last.
Okay, that's what I
So
wanted you to
let's start
say.
with Abby Jimenez.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you remember from a couple weeks ago, I can't remember what episode we talked about it in. Was it the Bridgerton episode? Is that what we were talking about?
I think so, yeah.
I know
think
we
that's
were
why it
talking
was
about-
like such a long intro.
Yeah, so Abby Jimenez, one of our favorite romance authors, her new book comes out towards the end of March. And like a few weeks ago, she made this big announcement. I mean, big to us. Like hyping everybody up for who was going to narrate this new audiobook. And she said that she always has dual POVs in her books, and so she always has a female narrator and a male narrator, and she said that the female narrator was an actress in her favorite rom-com of all time. So Sydney and I were trying to figure out like how old this actress would be based on how old Abby Jimenez is and what we thought her favorite rom-com was and all this stuff. We were doing all this.
Do you remember who your guess was?
Theorizing. Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was my guess.
Well, because we just couldn't wrap our heads around, like, her favorite rom-com of all time.
Right.
Being from, like, the 2010s on. And this one was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah.
Because we were like, the actress, like, we thought the narrator was going to be, like, older. Because, yeah, like, we couldn't come up with any rom-coms that have come out in the past 10 to 15 years that would be a romance author's favorite of all time. And
This
guess
one
what
surprised
it was?
me.
Yeah. You say it.
Warm Bodies. A zombie rom-com. I remember
Warm
seeing this in
Bodies.
theaters and then
You did
never
go
watched
see
it
it?
ever again. Yeah, but it was playing on base, and we used to go to a lot of movie theaters because on the military base it was like so cheap. And so I do remember seeing it. I think it was like a double feature night, and so we were like, yeah, let's stay for this other movie. But I've never thought about it ever since that night.
I don't even remember the actress's name.
Teresa
I've never seen
Palmer.
it. Sorry, what's her
She's
name?
Teresa Palmer. I know her
Okay.
from what, like I'm Number 4?
Yeah, I've seen that one.
And the source. There's one. There's
Oh,
like
The
one,
Sorcerer's
like The Sorcerer's
Apprentice?
Apprentice. Yeah.
With Nicolas Cage? Oh, yeah, I forgot she was in that.
Yeah.
And then in
But-
Warm Bodies, the guy is Nicholas Hoult, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who he just kind of had like a resurgence because he was in Superman, and then wasn't he in something else recently?
Yeah. I think it's a TV show with. Was it Elle Fanning? Do you know
Oh,
her?
yeah, he's in The Great.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to watch that.
I think I never thought about Warm Bodies again because I didn't think he was very cute.
Well, he was a zombie, wasn't he?
I mean, yeah.
That wasn't
But-
the problem for you, though.
I mean, even just seeing him as a normal person,
Yeah.
he's just not. Everyone knows this about me. I don't like really scrawny guys, and maybe it's because he was a zombie. But like, I just thought he looked so like skinny. I don't know. Should we watch it? do a
Warm
video on it?
Bodies. Maybe we
Yeah.
should watch it before we do our episode on, because I'm assuming The Night We Met, which is the title of Abby's new book, it comes out March 24th. So I think that will be our April book club book. So maybe we could watch Warm Bodies sometime in the month of April. Not that The Night We Met has anything to do with Warm Bodies, but
I mean, it is a romance and apparently somebody's favorite of all time. So
it would be unique compared to all of the other movies we've done so far.
we should do it like the same week, whatever that week is that the book episode comes out on.
Yeah.
Or like the Friday before. We'll see. But yeah.
So Teresa Palmer is the female narrator. And then the male narrator, Sydney, I feel like I've been talking about this, talking a lot. You take it away. Because you were saying some good things before we hit record.
Okay. Let me read you what she said. Okay, so in this same post that Abby Jimenez made, giving this little hint about Teresa Palmer, she also gave a hint for the male narrator. And she said, the narrator for Chris is a well-known, much celebrated TV film actor. He has a fantastic voice. He's done a few audiobooks, no romance though. And incidentally, he's also absolutely perfect for the TV film casting of Chris. But unfortunately, we'll never know who she was talking about because apparently they had somebody in and she said that they recorded one day and that it was just like not vibing. Like she was like, he's just not embodying this role like how I guess she thought he would. And so then she brought on her old male narrator. He's
Her
done
old faithful.
Yeah, he's done. What's that trilogy actually called?
I think it's called the Part of Your World trilogy.
Yeah, like Part of Your World, Yours Truly, Just for the Summer. His name's Zachary Weber, and I'm disappointed because he's not my favorite. I hate how he does girl voices. Like, it's like actually painful. They sound like really airheaded and
yeah, like for a professional audiobook narrator, his girl voice sounds like any man making fun of the way a woman would talk.
Yeah.
It's like
I do not like it.
I'm like trying to read some.
Oh,
let me
Chris.
read some.
Chris, come back here.
Read some of my notes I wrote. I'm like trying to find something to read so that I could like do my best shot. Whatever. Yeah, it's really cringy.
I'm just not happy. But the things I was saying to Issa, like, she said, oh, it's kind of awkward that Abby Jimenez had to like fire this guy. And I'm like, well, it was actually probably awkward to bring back Zachary Weber too, because one, she had to tell one guy, hey, sorry, I actually regret hiring you, and then had to go back to somebody she's worked with and be like, sorry, I didn't hire you back, but I actually want you back.
He's
it
like,
just seems kind of awkward.
Well, look who came crawling back to me.
He probably raised his rates. He'll like, yeah, I'll come back if you pay me more.
Yeah.
Once you know they're desperate.
Yeah. I just really wish she would tell us who it was, even though I know she never will. And also, I just really want to know how that conversation went down. Like, did the guy know it wasn't going well? And he was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do this. Or was she like, cut. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I've seen what I needed to see. You're fired.
Well, that's true, because it was like just one day. Like, you're not going to give him a chance. Like, hey, let's come back in a week. Maybe rethink how you're. I guess I don't know what the process is. Like, did he audition?
I don't know.
Beforehand? Like,
yeah.
Did she not know what they were getting into? I'm just a little.
She said this mystery person has done audiobooks before, just not romance.
She said a few, but no romance. But that he was a much celebrated TV and film actor. And would be perfect for an adaptation version of this main character.
So someone that looks good with Teresa Palmer, I guess.
And I just looked it up, but Teresa Palmer's 39. So that's still kind of like when we were theorizing like who might play this character and who's an actress and, you know, trying to see who it could be. That's still like on the older end of what I would have even been picturing for this character. So
yeah, 39. Like Alexis in Part of Your World is like 37.
I guess I have no idea how old this character is supposed to be yet.
Yeah. Oh man, we'll never know, huh?
I know. And I know that Abby was like, she's exactly who I imagined when I was writing this character, and she would be perfect if this were made into a movie. But no offense to Teresa Palmer, but I just don't know if she would get the role.
You think not?
Well, after what we've been seeing with Emily Henry's, which kind of segues into our next book. Oh my gosh, the words are not coming out of my mouth today. Our next piece of book news. But it seems like they're casting either like if they haven't been in something for a little while, they're at least still like very relevant in pop culture, or they're very relevant and they haven't quite got their big break yet either, like big break yet, you know? Because even with Catherine Centers, like we were talking about, who did they cast as the girl again?
Isn't it Leighton Meester?
Yeah, Leighton Meester. Like, she hasn't been in stuff for a while, but she's always been like a much bigger name than Teresa Palmer. So I feel like you need to have either like current star power and relevancy, or you can be older and less seen in media, but have like a nostalgic factor, like how they got Leighton Meester and Jared Padalecki, you know? And I feel like Teresa Palmer just doesn't really fit in either category.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just didn't know though, like it'll be interesting to see how Abby Jimenez's adaptations compare to Emily Henry's, because I think she is slightly less popular.
I mean, that's true. Maybe they get a lower budget to begin with, and yeah.
So maybe Teresa Palmer could be in it. Well, should we talk about Emily Henry's news?
Yes.
I'm so excited.
This is big news.
Are you excited?
Issa, take it away. I am excited.
Phoebe Dynevor, aka Daphne from season 1 of Bridgerton, has been casted as January Andrews in Beach Read, which is me and Sydney's. Is that our favorite? For both of us?
I'm like, I always feel like a little bit nervous to like speak it into the universe, like this is my favorite, but I think it is. I don't say it very often, but it is.
We love Beach Read. That's Emily Henry's first adult romance book she published, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm excited. Say what you said in your video. Your comparison between Phoebe Dynevor and Emily Bader.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the timeline was good too.
So, yeah, I just think Phoebe Dynevor obviously was huge in Bridgerton. I actually was thinking about this today. Like, I'm curious where the plot would have taken them if the actor for Simon didn't drop out. Like, I wonder if they would have involved her more in the later seasons, or if the family would have felt like more connected. I'm just curious about that. But because he dropped out, she kind of fell out. And I mean, they brought her back for cameo like here or there.
I think only in season 2.
Yeah, that's true. She wasn't in season 3 at all? Yeah. And even season 2, it was so little, but I feel bad for her.
I know, and I can't remember where I saw this. So it was probably somebody just speculating and, making guesses about. I'm sure there were many reasons why they didn't bring her back. And one of them, like you said, is because her male counterpart, I can't remember that actor's name. Simon, you guys know who I'm talking about. He didn't come back. Yeah, so that might be a reason why Phoebe Dynevor hasn't been in any more Bridgerton. But I saw somebody speculating that another reason possibly could be because they weren't expecting people to be so mad about what happened at the end of season 1. She coerces him into, she's like trying to get pregnant. Anyway, they were like, well,
that's true. That did get a lot of
audiences
backlash.
were really mad about that. So maybe they were just like, okay, let's pretend Simon and Daphne don't exist.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a valid enough reason?
I could see that, I guess, but they did still bring her back a little bit, you know? So, like, maybe they thought, oh, well, I don't know. I really don't know. Because it didn't, like, taint Bridgerton fans enough for them to, like, stop watching the show.
Right,
you know, like, they still were so excited for season 2, and there's still a lot of people that favor Simon and Daphne.
Yeah,
so...
okay. You know what? Okay, you know our Bridgerton video that went like semi-viral?
Mm-hmm.
So we posted this video. It was basically us thirsting after Anthony. But everybody in the comments was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you guys wouldn't go for literally everybody else. Oh, you wouldn't go for King George. Oh, you wouldn't go for Colin. Oh, and then somebody said that they were like, oh, you wouldn't go for Simon. I know what you are, ... And I think that they were, like, calling us racist.
Yeah.
But, like, we talked about this in our first Bridgerton episode. Like, Simon was a jerk. Like,
Yeah, like, guys, we're not
he
talking about the
lied.
actor.
Yeah, like, he lied to... I just thought it was funny that everybody was so surprised that we wouldn't go for Simon when he, like, lied to Daphne.
Yeah. And this is part of why I still want to try to rewatch the show. Because I'm like, am I inflating, like, the toxicity in my brain? Like, I need to go back and, like, validate myself and my feelings on, like, the things they both did to each other, you know?
Yeah.
Because it was kind of a crazy season. So really looking back, it is kind of a miracle that Bridgerton did make it out of that season, that it was still like huge success and still is, 4 seasons later. Even when they take forever to come out with each season, they're still like maintaining their popularity.
And their leads
which
are
is
literally getting so old.
I know. Well, and I didn't realize until I went back to like get a picture of Phoebe Dynevor in season 1 to like put in that video. And I realized like, oh my gosh, she looks so young.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, yeah, it came out like 5+ years ago.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was 2020 or 2021.
How old is she now?
That's a good question,
I'm
actually.
Googling it. Has she been in anything since then? Oh, she has a child?
I actually think she just recently had a child.
The first picture that came up, she's like pregnant. She's 30 years old.
Okay, that's actually younger than I thought.
She's been in a few things that I've never heard of in the past couple years.
She was in one that just came out with is it Dylan O'Brien? Oh yeah, Anniversary. And I saw the trailer and it actually looked really interesting. I think that she's like in a cult or something. And because Dylan O'Brien was in it too, I was intrigued. But then I got like,
oh, I saw the
scared.
trailer for this. Yeah.
It's a thriller, so I wasn't sure like if it got bloody or something.
If you would like it. Yeah, it's rated R.
But it's got like a pretty good cast. It's even got that young girl that was in Regretting You.
Oh, McKenna Grace.
Yeah.
She's in everything.
Yeah, I guess
I
didn't realize.
Booked and busy.
I didn't realize how popular she was. But and it also has Zoe Deutch, whatever the heck, however you say her name, which was actually who I guessed might be the voice narrator for Abby Jimenez's book. So it's got like a pretty good cast. So I was intrigued about watching it. She was also in another thriller, I think, that was on Netflix with the guy that you fan cast that's in Beautiful Creatures.
Oh, really?
They play opposite
I think
of each other.
It. What's his name again? Alden Ehrenreich.
Yeah. And that one I wanted to watch because it had her and because it had him. But then again, I got too scared.
Yeah, it's also a thriller.
I guess I didn't realize how popular thrillers were. Like, it feels like every single movie that's coming out is a thriller.
Yeah, and I'm not like a big fan.
Not either. Clearly. We didn't say call me when they kill you.
Kill each other.
We just like some kissing.
Okay, but anyway, so Phoebe Dynevor is going to be January. When do you think we're going to get the Gus announcement? I hope it's soon.
I hope it's soon. When does Emily Henry come out with her grocery list? Is it just random?
Just whenever she has something to say.
I hope it's this week.
Well, I can't remember because I remember where I was when the Tom Blythe announcement dropped, but I don't remember how much time passed between what.
I'm just laughing because, like, people are always like, do you remember where you were when 9/11 happened? And he's just like, I remember exactly where I was. When I heard about Tom. You never hear that?
Well, yeah.
Or like any like big historical moment, you know?
And
he's just like, I remember exactly when Tom Blythe was cast. It was a Monday. I was in the office.
That is where I was. But I can't remember how much time passed between that announcement and then the Emily Bader announcement.
I actually thought they were announced together. Were they not?
I don't think they were.
Because, like, the post that I made, like, because I posted about it on my personal Instagram when I found out the news.
Oh, were they both on it?
And it, like, showed them both, like, side by side in the news articles.
Okay, maybe they were announced at the same time. I think that was before I had watched My Lady Jane, so maybe I didn't, like...
You just didn't care?
Yeah, I just didn't care.
Yeah.
Okay, no, you might be right.
I hope that it's
she better give
soon.
us Gus soon then.
Okay, do you remember who your fan cast was?
No, I don't. No, I do. No. Because I said not Logan Lerman, because Logan Lerman gives more Miles vibes. So yeah, who did I
Yes.
say for Gus? I'm going to
Let me
have to pull up
double
my
check.
video.
Because some of the most popular fan casts, if you weren't aware, are, I almost said Pedro Pascal. Not Pedro Pascal. Paul Mescal, Logan Lerman, and Dev Patel, which oddly enough, everything we talk about is somehow like intertwined and connected because he's also who everybody said should have played Heathcliff.
Yeah.
And he hasn't really, I mean, maybe I just don't know like what he's been in lately, if he has been in anything, but it's like he's a name that like people keep bringing up, like cast him in something. And I'm like, is he trying to get cast in these things? Or
Dev
like,
Patel?
yeah, or like, are these book girls just like begging for him to be in one of these movies?
Yeah. What
Like,
has
is
he
he
been
even
in?
interested?
I don't even know. Oh,
Um,
he's British.
like Lion,
I
which
didn't see that.
like he's in British movies. Like he's in The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, which I remember I actually did watch, but it's like a very British movie. He's in Slumdog Millionaire. He was in The Last Airbender. But it's like I don't think he's been in a lot of stuff. One, recently, and two, that were like American made, and three, none of them are like romances. So
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
kind of
know.
random.
But like a lot of people keep fan casting him and like everything.
I don't know.
Oh, I see. I have your video pulled up.
Yeah, I picked Manny Jacinto.
Who was rumored to be in Book Lovers.
Yeah, so I guess I just switched everything around. I don't really want Paul Mescal.
I just don't think he would do it, period.
No.
He's also in that new Beatles movie that's like a 4-part, like the big thing that they're doing. I don't think that this is the type of thing that he's doing anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good, because I don't really want him to be Gus anyway. But you said you would like him.
Well, I think he's cute. I think
I
that's
don't
all.
really
I
think
just was
he's
like,
that
he's
cute.
cute, and I moved on. He was really cute in Hamnet, but I realized when I was Googling a picture of him, he actually looks like very different in a lot of different things. Like, his hair color changes, like, the style changes a lot. Like, I didn't realize that he didn't have a super consistent look. Lately, he's looked like how he looks in Hamnet, but there were some other pictures I saw of him that I was like, oh, you're not as cute as I thought you were. But in Hamnet, I thought he was cute.
Okay, I feel like I'm not allowed. I feel like this is something I'm not really allowed to actually say because number one, I haven't seen Paul Mescal in anything, and number two, I haven't seen Hamnet.
Yeah.
But I Googled, you and my mom were like commenting back and forth about Hamnet in the comments on one of our posts. And I had gathered based on all the crying and everything that like somebody died. And I could even guess who died based on things that you had told me. So I was like, eventually I will watch Hamnet, but I was like, I just gotta Google what the heck this movie is about.
Yeah.
Nobody told me Paul Mescal was playing William Shakespeare. That really made me raise my eyebrows. And again, I haven't seen him in literally anything, so like, who am I to say? But I was like, Paul Mescal as William Shakespeare?
I actually did not read anything about that movie at all going into it. I had no idea what it was about. I mean, I knew it was called Hamnet and that was like interchangeable with Hamlet, but like I had no idea. And they purposely avoid saying his name through the majority of the movie. Like at nearly like it's basically the very end, and she comes in, she goes like into the town that he's like producing these plays and stuff, and she's like, I'm looking for William Shakespeare. And I was like, what? He's William Shakespeare?
So-
like, I had no idea.
And were they not saying like the names of the plays either?
Mm-mm.
Like you didn't know he was like putting on
I thought
Hamlet?
that he was, no, yeah, like I thought that he was just like a poet playwright that like was inspired by William Shakespeare or something like that. Because I had read something, like, I did read one very brief thing that said something about Shakespeare. So I just thought, like, he wants to become, like, the next Shakespeare or something like that. And yeah, I was, like, my mind was blown. I did not know that.
Okay, well, now I'm kind of sad I Googled it because that's
So you know
interesting.
it?
But
Yeah.
still, Paul Mescal as William Shakespeare, I'm going to have to investigate this for myself.
It's good, but it's different. But it's definitely sad. Yeah. You might not cry also too, because like,
well, now I know too what happens.
yeah, but I wonder like, yeah, how it might hit people differently. Like for me, it was really emotional because like it involved twins and I have twins, but I don't know like how everyone else feels about it. So yeah.
Yeah, that makes it sound like you think I don't care if a kid dies.
Well, no, but like, well, I mean, I guess that's, I guess
I
that's
don't
true.
care about kids.
Well, but there's some movies that I watched that like involved like children's death that like I watched and was like really sad, but then I'd rewatch the same movie after I had the kids and I was like sobbing. So like I know you'll be sad, but like I was like literally holding my breath because I didn't want to sound like this obnoxious person in the movie theater like bawling. So
And
I was
didn't
like,
you go with a lot of people too?
yeah, I was like a whole random group of girls. And yeah, it was not the if I could go back in time, I wouldn't watch it in a movie theater. I would just
That's
watch
so
it
funny.
in the safety of my own home.
It's so funny because like Sydney, at least what I know about Sydney, she's not like that much of a crier. But like you posted that video of you crying.
Yeah, I was like
after
reviewing the
watching
movie.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Okay,
Well,
well,
I want Beach Read to make me cry though.
yeah.
I actually didn't cry at any point in the book, but I think that like watching it portrayed is different. And like there's some really emotional moments. I want a rom-com that makes me laugh, but also makes me tear up a little bit. Like 13
Yeah.
going on 30, I tear up at the end.
Yeah, and you guys know how we feel about people we meet on vacation. And of course I like the book People We Meet on Vacation, but it's lower on my list of Emily Henry books. Beach Read is way high up there. So I'll be really disappointed if they cut out all of the heartfelt emotional parts of Beach Read, which I do feel like is kind of what they did with People We Meet on Vacation.
Yeah. The good thing is, I love the book, and the narration makes it feel like a whole production of itself. So if the movie sucks, at least I still really love listening to the audiobooks, and I can just close my eyes and try to imagine it. But there's a lot.
Dang. And Gus is like my favorite Emily Henry MMC.
I think that's why
Him
I
or
don't
Charlie?
have. Yeah, I like both of them. But I think that's why like I don't have a fan cast in mind because I just see Gus as Gus, and like I can't even put any celebrity face to him. And
Well,
I
you
would
know
almost.
what? No, go ahead.
Well, I've just been saying this for like every fan cast. I'm like, I think it should be someone new, but I genuinely do feel I feel that way. I mean, it's what we were talking about with Wuthering Heights. Like, it gets to a point where if they're too popular, you just see Jacob Elordi or Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind it being a lesser known person.
Well, I definitely don't think it's going to be Manny Jacinto because I don't see him and Phoebe Dynevor as a pair. But it is interesting because Phoebe Dynevor was on a popular Netflix show and Emily Bader was on a popular Prime show. Different levels of popularity though. Like Phoebe Dynevor has a couple million Instagram followers. That's how I gauge how famous someone is. How many Instagram followers they have. And Emily Bader is still at less than 1 million. And then Tom Blythe, like, he's like a movie star.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like the more famous of the two.
That's true.
So now this time around, yeah, like, is Phoebe Dynevor going to be the more famous of the two? But it's just funny because to me, she is in a similar position as Emily Bader, like you were saying in your video. Like, she was on a really popular show, but since then, what has she been doing?
Yeah, hasn't had like as big of success. Well, it's also interesting because with this being announced now, is this like they were just offered the roles? Or has this been like they've known for a while and it's just being announced now? Because I wonder if the success of People We Meet on Vacation has any influence on like how this one's being made, because it's also by Netflix, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And here's the downside of Netflix. Netflix likes working with Netflix actors.
Yeah.
And so I'm a little bit like, oh, is it gonna be like
It'll be like Chase Stokes.
yeah. Noah, whatever
Noah
the heck his
Centineo.
name is. Yeah. I mean, I don't hate him, but I don't want him in Beach Read.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Netflix does like their actors.
Maybe it'll be Finn Wolf. Now I'm thinking of like all the Netflix actors. It'll be Finn Wolfhard. How old is he? He's probably too young.
Is he
Joe
the one in Stranger
Keery!
Things?
Maybe it really will be Joe Keery. Who did I fan cast him as? I fan casted Joe Keery in a Abby Jimenez book, actually, not an Emily Henry book.
Yeah. I haven't seen him in a like serious role actually.
Joe Keery?
Well, I guess Stranger Things is a serious role. But I only watched like the first season where he was
He's
a
like
little
the
bit
bully.
more like yeah.
He's like the high school bully. Well, we'll see. I'm sure. I have
Please
hope.
speculate with us, people.
Yeah. Okay, well, should we talk about Say Yes to the Marquess?
Let's do it.
If the person that was mad at us for not starting our Bridgerton talk until 20 minutes in, they're really gonna hate us for this episode.
Look, that
was like 40 minutes.
I know that nobody has read this book with us, so just enjoy our chit chat.
Yeah.
And yeah, just let us do our thing. No. Okay, so let's do this book, okay?
Okay. Give us a plot synopsis, please, Sydney.
Okay. And I'm going to read what's on the Wikipedia and then add a little bit that you might need afterwards. Okay. Your presence is requested. This synopsis is written in like
in second person.
Yeah. I'm so giggly today too. Your presence is requested at romantic Twill Castle for the wedding of Miss Cleo Whitmore and after 8 years of waiting for Pierce Brandon, the wandering Marquess of Granville, to set a wedding date, Cleo Whitmore has had enough. She's inherited a castle, scraped together some pride, and made plans to break her engagement. Not if Rafe,
yeah.
Not if Rafe Brandon can help it, a ruthless prizefighter and notorious rake. Rafe is determined that Cleo will marry his brother, even if he has to plan the drat wedding himself. So how does a hardened fighter cure a reluctant bride's cold feet? He starts with flowers. A wedding can't have too many flowers. Or harps. Or cakes. Oh
my god.
He lets her know she'll make a beautiful, desirable bride and tries not to picture her as his. He doesn't kiss her. If he kisses her, he definitely doesn't kiss her again. When all else fails, he puts her in a stunning gown and vows not to be nearby when the gown comes off. And no matter what, he doesn't fall hopeless in love with the one woman he can never call his own. Okay, so what do you need to know beside this? So basically, yeah, Cleo's engaged to his brother. And it was like a formal engagement, like they were like two kind of important families in town. She was engaged to him when they were like 18. She never had any sort of relationship with him. And then he just like disappears. He's got some work to do. I guess like at the end you find out he's been like a spy.
Yeah.
So he's been doing some important work for the country.
Like Cleo thinks he's been like avoiding her and like doesn't want to get married, and like there's all these rumors going around that he like has a mistress and her name's Cleo Whitmore, but everyone calls her Cleo Waitmore behind her back because she's been waiting for 8 years for her betrothed to like marry her.
Come and marry her. Yeah. But he's just been off doing things, taking care of business, working. And Rafe, it's kind of like implied as you read and find out that she like had a friendship with Rafe growing up, but that he struggled without using the words explicitly in the novel. Rafe has ADHD.
Yeah.
He was always seen as like the troublesome brother because he couldn't focus. He couldn't like stick to tasks very long. It sounded like he wasn't like super successful in school or whatever, which is why like he went into prize fighting. And like prize fighting was one thing that like he could really focus on and like take his energy out on, and he loved doing that. But you find out that they kind of had a better friendship, and her like coming out ball, he was like supposed to be there and he wasn't, and she was really disappointed by that. So even before she was like engaged to his brother, it sounds like they had this kind of friendship or like this mutual attraction towards each other, but it just like couldn't be because he was the brother with issues. And his brother is the one that actually is like the Marquess, and he has the status, and they just were like the proper pair. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get like if she had a title or she was just
Yeah, like her family was
Oh,
just
wealthy family.
good. Yeah.
'Cause
But
that's what
basic what?
oh, go ahead. Well, I was really confused because Marquess sounds girly to me,
Yeah.
but I guess the girl version of a Marquess is a Marchioness,
Yeah.
and a Marquess is between so it's part of the British peerage, which is, like, the nobility,
I
and
was
it's
gonna do some trivia on this,
between
but you studied.
oh, sorry.
No, it's good. I'll skip that one.
Um, a Marquess is between it's above a viscount, so above Anthony Bridgerton, but below a duke, so below Simon. It's like in the middle.
I was surprised to see that a viscount was like second to last because they made Anthony sound like so
Yeah. But they're
up there.
still above like okay, so like this is the other thing I learned. Jane Austen, she wrote books about the landed gentry. So they're like the class below the peerage and they're just like basically landlords and that's why they all sit around doing nothing because they just like make their living off of owning land. So like
So
if
that was like, wasn't somebody in Wuthering Heights?
yeah, that's like the class they were all a part of,
Okay.
I
Okay.
think. Well, yeah, I don't know if Mr. Earnshaw like, they had, like, land, but did Mr. I don't think Mr. Earnshaw worked his own farm, like, they had yeah,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's what they would be. Or like Mr. and even though they're not nobility and they're, like, below the peerage, like, they like, Mr. Darcy, he's, like, really, really rich and still has, like, a ton of influence, like, in the
Yeah.
community.
Interesting. So it's like there's other, because I just saw like the 5 that were in that class. I didn't realize that there were like still other influential positions even below that.
Yeah. And I think that's why, because when I first started watching Bridgerton, I was like, wow, they're just like all chummy with the queen. But I
Yeah.
guess that's like how it was, like, because they're like the nobility. So they like are fraternizing with like the queen.
Yeah.
But I don't think
Mr.
like in
Darcy
Jane
would be hanging
Austen,
out
they're
with.
not like hanging out with the queen.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's a good point.
Anyway, sorry. Continue your synopsis.
Well, basically, it's, they know that the brother's going to come back soon, and Cleo wants the marriage contract broke, like we read, because, she has her own castle. She's an independent woman.
That she inherited from her uncle that died.
Yeah, that's like the theme between this, like, Castles Ever After. There's 3 books in the series, and they're not, like, connected in any other way other than like the female main character had been gifted a castle. And so she has her own castle. She wants to open a brewery. She
I have thoughts
doesn't
on
need
that.
no man. Yeah, she wants it broken off. And Rafe is like, no, you can't do that. Why? Like, I'm just not realizing. Was there a reason why he was like, no, you have to marry him?
I think because he wanted his brother, the Marquess, to come back and marry her because since his
Oh,
brother's
yeah.
been gone, he's been having to like fulfill all the duties of the Marquess. Kind of like Benedict right now in Bridgerton, fulfilling all of Antony's duties, and he doesn't want to be doing that either. So yeah, he like wants his brother to come home, settle down, marry this girl so that he
Yeah.
can go back, he can just like live his life as a prize fighter.
And he kind of already sees, like, he has feelings for her, but he already sees that as, like, completely, like, it can't happen. Like, she's above him, he's a bum, whatever.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he has 7 days to convince her to marry his brother, or he'll sign the dissolution papers. And, of course, what happens in those 7 days? They fall in love. So spoiler alert, she doesn't end up marrying his brother. He and Cleo do get married, and they live happily ever after. The brother was just kind of like, I think they tried to keep it a secret from him that they had fallen in love, but his brother's like, no, I can tell that you like her, and he took it pretty good, I feel like.
Well,
He
that's
didn't
what
really
was
react.
funny. Okay, I guess moving on from the synopsis to our discussion. And this is kind of the end of the book, but for most of the book, they spent all this time like Cleo was really stressed about having to tell Pierce that she wanted to call off the engagement. And then, like, I don't think we even saw that conversation. It was like,
No.
so then she told him she wanted to call it off. Like, we didn't actually see
It's
that
like
conversation.
she was telling her family, like her sisters, that she was calling off the wedding, and she was like, "Well, if I could deliver this news to him, then I can do it to them." And we're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, so she already told him?" Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
So
kind
I
of a
thought that
people
was kinda
pleaser.
weird.
That was like a theme that was coming in throughout the book was like she wanted Rafe to sign the dissolution papers instead of her just like telling um
Pierce?
Pierce that she didn't want to get married because she just didn't want to like have that confrontation to begin with. So she just thought that would be the easier way out. But
Which that's why it's so funny that they skipped over that conversation in the book, because that was, like, a big part of her character development, was, like, to stop
yeah,
her people-pleasing ways and, like, stand up for herself
gain
and, like,
courage.
decide to live, like, make the choice for herself, and then we didn't even see that, like, resolution.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Um, okay, well, I have notes.
Okay. I
Well,
actually don't really have notes.
I guess I'll give you my overall thoughts.
Okay.
My overall thoughts are, I liked it, and I think I'll listen to the other ones.
This was what star rating would you give it?
Like a 3.
This is where I kind of struggled, yeah, because I was like, like, I think I put in my Goodread reviews, like, it's not very good, but there's something about it that is just, like, cute and fun that
Mhm.
made it entertaining, even though there's also a lot about it that I find kind of silly.
Right.
But compared to, like, a lot of the contemporary romances we've been reading lately, I still like it more than,
All of them.
yeah.
Well, and
Like, at
like
least
you
it's a fun time, you know?
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned this before, that, like, you thought it was funny
Mhm.
and you thought Tessa Dare's other books were funny. I do think that goes a long way. And I
Yeah.
did think this book was kind of funny. Like, I was laughing and smiling. And I feel like that always really tanks my ratings and my opinions of a lot of the contemporary romance books we read. They come across cringy and, like, overly quirky as
Mhm.
opposed to genuinely funny. And yeah, I mean, this book is still silly, but and it was funny. I mean, the humor was slightly modern humor. Like, it didn't really fit the Regency
Yeah.
era, but it was still funny.
Yeah, no, it was like, and I think that's maybe why some people don't like it. Like, I was reading some of the negative reviews on
Mhm.
Goodreads, and a lot of people were complaining that it didn't feel enough like a Regency romance
Mhm.
because of the language or the themes or,
The sex.
yeah. But I kind of like it for that reason. Like, it's kind of fun that it's like in a different time period and like makes it feel a little bit different than the contemporary romances we've been reading. But it still like approaches certain topics in a modern way,
Mhm.
which I think is good because I mean, part of the problem with the Bridgerton books is that the storylines themselves, and especially like the sex in those books, is very outdated and quite frankly is just sexual violence.
Mhm.
And that's not like uncommon for the genre. Like,
Really?
yeah. Especially the older ones. I mean, let me see when Bridgerton was written, because this one was actually, I
I don't even
think,
know when this one was written.
I think it was 2011. Oh, 2014. And the Bridgerton books,
Weren't they, like, early 2000s?
um, yeah, 2000 to 2006. And there's actually, I mean, when I was reading the history of of this genre, they did say that like um that once the genre started to shift a little bit from the proper Regency romances where there's no sex talk, even very little kissing,
Mhm.
to these more like erotic type the bodice ripping books,
Mhm.
that this article that was talking about this shift said that like now these books were showing like portraying sex scenes, but that a lot of them were non-consensual.
Oh,
And
interesting.
that is still like I've seen TikToks where people are recommending Regency romance books. Like that is like a warning that they have to
Oh,
preface
really?
with like a lot of the older Regency romance books. And Bridgerton's not even that old, really. Honestly, I was surprised to see that it was even like the early 2000s because several of her books have non-consensual sexual relations. Like, I don't know if they're all like sex or if some of it's just like forced kissing or things like that, you know? But like that's
Mhm.
like a common thing. It's not just in like Simon and Daphne's book. Like
Yeah.
it's in several books. And I've heard that what she does in the book is actually even worse than what was shown in the show.
I think I've heard that too.
So, I'm okay with a modern take. Like, I know that that was probably the norm in that time. Of course, there
Yeah.
were girls, like, girls had no choice in who they married.
Mhm.
Oh, like a big staple of this genre also is like the trope of like marrying for love.
Mhm.
Because yeah, that wasn't a normal thing in that time
Mhm.
period. So no, I don't need to read a historically accurate
Yeah.
Regency romance. I'm okay with it having more of a modern take. And I do feel like this book actually did some stuff pretty well that we kind of complained about in Bridgerton. Like the talk about sex was pretty direct. And like
Mhm.
the Cleo's sister, again, like it's not said because I'm assuming they didn't have an ADHD diagnosis in the Regency time period, so I don't know if that's the reason why like things are just kind of implied, but it's like pretty heavily implied that Cleo's sister is autistic, would you say?
Mhm. Yeah.
And but I kind of I loved her. Like she like would come and she's like, "Okay, you're about to get married." So I did some research and I studied this. Like I read all these books and I'm going to tell you straight up exactly what you need to hear. And they were like, "No, no, it's okay." But like I liked that it didn't kind of dance around those topics in the way
Yeah.
that Bridgerton does season after season, you know.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. Well, and I was wondering though, like, okay, so if you're going to modernize it, what is the point of still setting it in the Regency time period? And I don't know if
That's
it's just
true.
because it elicits a certain vibe that's fun. Or obviously, like them, like they're not supposed to be having sex or they're not supposed to be kissing and it's improper. I guess maybe it's for that tension.
Yeah, like it adds like extra stakes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, "So what is the point of this then?"
No, that's true. Well,
But
to be honest, I'm not sure if I'd like the story as much if it were, like, in modern time. I think it does make it kind of fun just to picture the castles and you
yeah,
know.
and the dresses and
Yeah. Oh, they're going to a ball.
something else I was wondering about, Rafe, he would go running in the book, and I was wondering if people back then actually went for runs. And
That's true.
I'm like, "What shoes is he wearing?" Like, he didn't have
That's
Hoka's
a
or
really good point. I never even thought about that.
yeah, like, what was he running in?
Yeah. I don't even know what shoes they wore at all.
And it said he ran 12 miles, and I'm like, how did he know he ran 12 miles without an Apple Watch?
Not historically accurate.
Those are the things I'm thinking about.
That's so funny. I
One
did
of my
not think
favorite
about that.
parts was when Cleo said that Rafe's pants were tighter. He was wearing like deerskin pants, and she said that they were tighter on they were pulled tighter on him than they must have been when they were
On
on
the
the
deer.
deer. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some cute, funny, witty lines.
I
There's
also
also sorry,
Oh, go
go,
ahead.
go.
No, you go
No, you
first.
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Well, I was going to change the subject.
Oh, well, I guess I kind of was too. So you change it first.
Okay, well, I Googled because wasn't sure if women could actually own property back then
Oh,
because
yeah.
she's gifted this castle. It's like in her name and she owns it.
Hmm.
And I guess women could own property if they were not married or they were widowed, which I thought was
Yeah.
really funny. And then when they got married, like the property was then their husband's property. But I just thought
Yeah.
that was funny, like, oh, so you're better off being single or widowed?
Yeah, that actually comes up like in the third book in the series. That idea of like, well, but if she gets married, like this property will no longer belong to her.
In a Scott ties the knot.
I will say, like, I like this one the most out of all three, but the other two, I mean, the first one I read well, I read them in order. Whoops. So like the first one, I feel like I didn't really like it that much. Like looking back,
Oh,
like,
really?
I don't remember much about it or any thoughts that I had while reading it, but I guess I must have liked it enough to like
Read the
read the
next one.
second one. But I like this one more than the third one. The third one, I guess, like, my problem with all 3 of them is, I kind of already mentioned this, is they're just kinda silly. Like, the scenarios are always, like, a little crazy, wonky, or just, like, this one felt like, I mean, I like that she was, like, a feminist woman, but also, like, feels a little bit too on the nose. Like, at the end when they're talking about boxing, and he's like, "Oh, like, I'm gonna start boxing with, like, gloves and with rules." I'm like, "Oh, wow, Rafe invented modern day boxing with safety
Yeah.
nets," you know? Like,
Yeah.
it just, like, feels, like, a little silly in that way, you know? That
Well,
that he's inventing it.
even her wanting to start a brewery,
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, she's not like other girls. She loves
Literally,
beer."
I was just about to say that. She's not
Yeah.
like other girls. She doesn't wanna go to the ball. She wants to make and sell beer. Yeah, she's funny. But again, I actually only wrote, like, 5 notes, and 2 of them was that I liked that they were, like, laughing and having fun with each other. I feel like we
Mhm.
don't read a lot of books where, like, the main characters are just, like, giggling together.
Yeah.
Um, and that you can, like, see that kind of progression, like, you
Progression.
see them, like, it's believable that they're friends and that they like each other, and some current romances don't have that, and so I can overlook the silliness and the, like, really not subtle messages that it's trying to give you, because at the end of the day, I'm like, "Well, it was cute, and it made me laugh, and I feel like they actually like each other,
Yeah.
and I know
No,
why they like each other."
yeah. No, I felt like they liked each other too. I do think though they kissed. I was surprised how soon they kissed.
Yeah.
That felt early on in the book, earlier than I was expecting. Especially okay, this was my first Regency romance though. I've never even read Bridgerton. So especially for a Regency romance, I thought, and I knew it was open door and I knew it wasn't going to be historically accurate or proper for the Regency era, but I still thought like, "Oh, they're gonna save it for towards the end." Especially because of the circumstances, like, "No, I can't kiss her because she's my brother's betrothed." So then when
Yeah.
they kissed really early on, I was like, "Whoa, okay."
He's like, "I'm a simp, and I can't hold it back any longer."
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
and then the no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that, like, I almost texted you guys in the group chat, but I was like, well, I didn't wanna, like, influence, and when I say you guys, I'm talking about our book club, but,
Mhm.
I didn't wanna influence anyone's thoughts or opinions on it, but I almost immediately, like, when I started re-listening to it, thought, I kinda forgot, like, how horny these guys are. Like, because it does start pretty early, like, them noticing things about each other's bodies or, like, wanting to kiss each other or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, wow, yeah, like, this does start, like, almost immediately." He's like, "Look at her bosom."
No, that also surprised me, and I kind of wish we didn't have his internal thoughts, which we've talked about before when reading romance books. Like, I didn't really need his internal dialogue of, "Oh my gosh, I just want to have sex with her so bad."
Yeah, the more I'm reading, the more, and I think this is maybe the issue because a lot of books, contemporary romances lately, like, are dual POV, but I think that's why I've been struggling so much with the books that I've been choosing because I've come to the realization that I really could care less about males or male pleasure even, like, I'm like, "I
Yeah.
don't care."
Yeah.
I don't, yeah, like, some things are better left in the unknown, like, I don't need to hear, like, every dirty thought a guy has about a girl, and it's just, like,
Right.
a very fine line of, like, what feels romantic and what
Right.
feels like objectification, you know?
Mhm.
And, like, it's just hard. Very few authors I feel like would balance that well. And
Right.
so that's why I get turned off by a lot of these books because I read it and I'm like, well, now this guy just sounds like he wants to get in her pants.
Or in her shoot, I just watched a TikTok about like underwear in the Regency era and now I can't remember what it was called.
At least this one though, like I did feel like he really loved her too though.
No, yeah,
Like
yeah.
he wanted to get in her pants, but also he loved her heart.
I think it was a shift.
Oh yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
didn't wear underwear. They just wore like little shift dresses underneath their corsets and fancy dresses.
I guess if I was wearing a full-length dress with several layers,
No, but that's what the
I might feel
TikTok
safe.
I should have sent it. I almost sent it to you, but I thought you wouldn't. I thought maybe you wouldn't care.
I will always care.
I should have sent it to you. But she was talking about how in the Regency era, that was actually like the least amount of clothes people had worn up until that point. Like,
wow.
even in the Georgian era, which is when Wuthering Heights takes place, they wore a lot more layers and like the poofier dresses.
Yeah.
But in the Regency era, it was only like 2 layers.
Well,
And they would just like lift their dresses up to warm their butts. Like, they would stand in front of the fire with their
with their bare butt out?
Yeah.
That's funny.
One of my favorite movies is Austin Land, and she's like meeting with a travel agent to, if you don't know what Austin Land is, she like pays a ton of money to go on this vacation where you pretend like you're in the Regency era and you like dress up in Regency attire and there's like men there that like pretend to court you kind of. And so she's like meeting with this travel agent and he's like trying to sell her this trip. And he says, and I also heard people in those days didn't wear underwear. And I always thought that was just like a throwaway joke, but it's true.
Yeah.
They didn't wear underwear.
It had some historical accuracy behind it.
Yeah.
That's funny. It would be crazy to like, I mean, we've been talking about this with Wuthering Heights. That whole time period is very romanticized.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be interesting to see it accurate to real life. I want to see sick people. I want to see dirty people. I want to see no underwear. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, this isn't Regency era, but watch the 2011 Wuthering Heights then, because
Yeah.
it tried to be realistic.
I realized that the Regency period was actually much shorter than I thought. Like, anything that's, like, British historical, I've just been calling, like, oh, it's kind of that time period. But it looked like it was only, like, 15 years or something like that.
Yeah, it's like because I was Googling this recently, too. Between, like, Wuthering Heights and Bridgerton and reading this book, I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And the Regency era is like a sub-period of the Victorian era.
Okay.
So Wuthering Heights was written in the Victorian era, but it takes place in the Georgian era, which came right before.
Interesting.
Yeah. And Jane Austen was writing books about the Regency era in the Regency era, I think.
Yeah, that was one of the fun facts I was going to share is that, like,
Oh,
a lot
sorry,
of people well, no, I mean, you continue sharing, but yeah, people think of, like, Regency romance, and they're like, oh, so, like, Pride and Prejudice. Like, some of Jane Austen works, some people will, like, put in that same category, but it's actually not correct because Jane Austen was writing about that time period in that time period where, like, technically the genre of, like, traditional historical romance is, like, the genre really started in the early 1900s and they were, like, writing back on, like, a historical time period.
Oh.
Not, like,
yeah.
writing that in that time period.
Yeah. So Jane Austen's books were, like, contemporary for their time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
exactly.
I wonder what people considered Wuthering Heights then, because it wasn't
it was,
quite
like, kind of in the
contemporary.
past.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
Interesting.
Exactly
Anyway,
right.
I'm trying to
Like,
gather
how
my
do
thoughts after that
segue?
history lesson.
Was there anything that you were like, I did not like that? Because I have something.
Tell me yours.
I actually didn't really like their sex scenes. I think that, like,
let me think back to how they went.
Like, I really liked, like, their earlier kissing scenes, and maybe it's just what we've been talking about, like, the slow burn and the tension that can build. And then once, like, it happens, for it to, like, happen, like, over and over and over again in the last, like, 5 chapters, I'm like, well, I don't really care anymore, you know? Like,
You felt like it happened too much in this one?
Well, just, like, towards the end.
I thought they only did it, like, twice.
Well, they do it, like, twice in 24 hours. And then I thought there was another one. It was, like, 2 chapters. Like, they do it for the first time, and then, like, immediately do it again.
In detail? Because I remember they
Yeah.
did it, and then the next morning she's like, it's not in first person, but they're like, they kept having sex over and over again throughout the night.
No, okay, actually, now I'm remembering a third one. Okay, so, like, yeah, it's the first time, and then the second time, he's, like, teaching her some more stuff. And then the third
Oh,
time is, like, at the desk once Pier comes back.
I
It,
wasn't
like,
counting.
happens
I guess I wasn't counting the first time because I didn't think they had sex. I thought that he just like
when they agreed to get married.
no, before they didn't
Well,
have
no, there
full
was
on
that too.
sex.
There was a lot happening in the
No,
last
because
little
that's
bit.
what I was gonna ask. Because okay, so they don't have sex, okay, but they get kind of frisky, okay,
Mhm.
and then they do have sex, and then that's the point where they're like, well, there's no going back, like we have to get married now. And they kept talking about her being ruined, and I was like, okay, so a woman is only ruined
When
if she's
penetration
had
occurs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because in Bridgerton, like, doesn't Simon kiss Daphne and then he's like, I've
Yeah.
ruined you, we have to get married. So I was like, so what is the true point of ruination where you're obligated to get married?
Maybe, like, technically, like, in society she'd be ruined if people knew that they even kissed, but, like,
Uh-huh.
personally, there was no going back.
At what point are you the chewed up piece of gum that
Yeah.
no man would ever want?
And I just hate this because meanwhile, Rafe has been with how many women?
Yes, it's just like
You know?
Bridgerton. Yeah.
But they do give him a little bit of a sad story, you know, like he was just it actually kind of reminded me of Dirty Dancing where Johnny's like, "You don't understand, baby. These women are, they want me, you know?" And like they
Oh my
kind of give
gosh.
the Rafe like a similar like, "Oh, women only came to me when they were running from something or wanted something from me."
That actually kind of bugged me because I was like,
You could say no.
well, no, it bugged me because maybe it's just because like every other like romance from this time period, the men are just doing whatever they want. And so I
Mhm.
was like, in what Regency world are these women seeking you out in this time period? And I'm sure it did happen, okay? But I was just like, oh brother, like there's all these women, these like
Well,
proper women that
maybe they weren't. Maybe they were like Anthony's season 1 mistress. Like, he was
they're like
a
of the lower
prize
class.
fighter. Yeah, maybe it was
Yeah,
just
that's
like
true.
these girls hanging out in that kind of environment. But yeah,
No, that's true.
I don't know.
Okay, wait, but you finish what you were saying about how you didn't like their sex scenes. So you felt like there was too much.
Yeah, like honestly, I just like I think the kissing was like well, it happened early, but like I still felt like "Ew, they're kissing, like
Mhm.
excited that like by the time they actually had sex, I was like I just don't care. And I just actually am just kind of over it in general. And here's the public health person in me. It pops up every so often
Mhm.
in these episodes. So it was just Healthy Relationships Week. With it like being February, the week of Valentine's, we usually do like a focus on that. And they had this workshop that's called Sexpectations, and it's all about what like the word they used were like sexual scripts. And before I was like promoting this workshop, I had actually never heard that term before, sexual scripts. But basically what it is that like whether intended or not, people learn sexual scripts from pop culture, media, TV shows, movies, whatever, and it kind of influences like what we think is quote like normal in sexual experiences because you just learn these
Mhm.
scripts. And I will say that once I was like looking through this workshop and like learning about it, and I was like, that's actually like something I had never thought of when I think about these books that are open door. But I do think that it's important for people to learn these quote like scripts from books that are showing it like in a healthy, consensual, even like female pleasure focused way. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
people are gonna learn from media one way or another. Like might as well like have some healthy ones. And so I do think that this book like did a good job at that. At least there's like more of an emphasis in in these popular romance movies, books now about like positive consensual sexual experiences that what we
Mhm.
were just talking about, especially in this genre, wasn't always there.
Right.
And so like I do think that there are some benefits still of showing it that way, and that people could read it and be like, oh, like this is what I should expect, or like, oh, I read about this character and the, I don't know. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. No, I
I do
definitely
think
get what
that
you're
it's a benefit.
saying. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I would still say a lot of the books we read are probably unrealistic.
Yeah.
Especially all these women having sex for the first time ever. and and it like but maybe if more men read these books, then that is how it would go for everybody's first time.
Yeah. Well, it's
But
kind of what we've talked about in Bridgerton too, like, there yeah. It's a fine balance between, like, sharing something positive, but also, like, spreading misinformation. Because
yeah.
even, like, John talking about, like, "Oh, well, maybe you're not pregnant because you haven't reached your pinnacle." I'm like, "Well, that actually has nothing to do with pregnancy."
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and same with what you're saying, like, women might read this and be like, "Okay, so, like," but like
The
you
first
said.
time I ever have sex, I'm gonna have 5 orgasms in one night,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
and it's not gonna hurt at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was too much, but I actually haven't read a romance book for a while. Well, I guess I read The Night and the Moth, but I don't even remember that sex scene. But the only romance books I've read in the past couple months have been the ones we did for the podcast. So I think maybe I I was like, "Oh, this is fun. I haven't read this in a while."
Maybe I was just feeling secondhand embarrassment because I knew that, like, the 3 of you were reading the book at the same time, and I had already told all of you that I liked it, and so I was, like, feeling, like, extra self-conscious of, like, what if they think this is, like, so crazy or, like, not good at all, and they're gonna be like, "Haha, Sydney, we know that you like this."
That's funny because I thought it was fine. Like, it didn't really cringe me out, and I do get cringed out somewhat easily when I'm reading romance books. I mean, yeah, like like we've been saying, it's a little bit silly, but I thought it was fine, the sex scenes. But
It's a little bit
now I'm like, maybe I need
dramatic.
to go re-listen to it.
Well, I wasn't, like, cringy, but it's a little bit like, again, like, it's just a part of the genre where it's a little bit, like, flowery and over the top
Yeah, yeah.
that you don't read, like, in a contemporary romance. Like, the language and how things are described are just, like, different, and
That's
so,
true.
yeah, there's some parts that I was like, "Wow, this is so," I don't even have words to, like, describe it, you know? But, yeah, I don't know. I just felt like, it was kinda piling on there at the end, and I was actually surprised. I was like, "When does his brother come back? Like, are we done yet?" Because like, they were, like, fully together, and, like, there's
Yeah,
only, like, 15% left of the book, and the brother hasn't even come back yet.
yeah. Well, overall, I had a fun time. And what rating did you give it?
Let me see what my original Goodreads reading rating was. Oh, I didn't give it a star rating. I think that I was embarrassed. Because this was like I was like, well, I don't want to put this on my Goodreads and people like see the genre and see the cover. Okay, so for people that haven't seen the cover, it's like not too scandalous, but like the dress is like open and it's like falling off her and she's like holding it to her chest. And it just looks like it's like a super crazy scandalous book, and like it's really not. I think that it's absolutely more tame than Tessa Bailey.
Well, yeah, for sure.
I keep getting their names mixed up in my brain. Like the past week, I'm like, wait, no,
Tessa Dare and Tessa
wrong
Bailey.
one. But there was like another picture on the flip side. Remember when we were in the bookstore and I
Yeah,
opened it
she's
up?
like laying with him in the meadow.
Yeah. But I just wrote like I must have been really embarrassed. And maybe I need to be more like confident, and yeah, like I had fun. I said it's not like super good, but also I'm hooked and can't stop listening. Don't judge me. And the same thing happened on the reread. I thought like, "Oh, do I really need to reread this?" But started to reread it, and like I've been in a bad reading slump, and I actually got through this one pretty quickly
Yeah, I
cuz
was
like
actually
it's
surprised when you
just
told me you reread it for this
yeah,
episode.
it's just a good lighthearted fun time.
I
It's a
think I
little
will
bit
listen.
cheesy, but
I think
what?
I will listen to the other ones while I work this week. And I want to try other authors of the Regency romance genre.
One that's like really, really, really popular is Lisa Kleptis or something like that. Her name like keeps coming up over and over again. And somebody I follow on on Bookstagram, I almost just said on Instagram, posted like a whole guide and like what book to start
Oh,
with.
that's cool.
So I'll send
You
it
should
to
send
you.
that to me. Maybe then next time we come around to do a Regency romance for the podcast, we can do one of her books.
Yeah. Yeah, her and Julia Quinn are like two of the most, like, they sell the most copies right now, but I don't know if Julia Quinn was like always that popular or if the TV show has brought like a resurgence to her books. So,
should we do your fun facts?
yeah. Okay, well, I'll just share some quick fun facts. And I can like phrase them a little bit in like a quiz way if you want to take a guess. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so this is coming from it was actually another podcast episode called Freakonomics. I actually listened to the whole episode. I think it was only like 20 minutes or something, and it was just like a deep dive of, well, not so deep because it was short, but like of the romance genre. It actually had some really interesting facts in there. So Harlequin is, and I still like, I mean, I've like heard that publisher name before, you know, but they were ones that like really started to like prioritize this genre and like really made it popular. And so it was the mid 70s that this genre like really picked up. And so I guess I've been saying that like, oh, like people's mothers might have been reading these books, but it would actually more be like our grandmas.
Yeah.
Because like my mom was born in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when like this new wave of historical romance books started, and that's when they were nicknamed like bodice rippers, was in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
And they were often set in the Regency time period, but some are not. Like I said, like there's like two sections. I can't remember where I saved this, but there's like two sections of Regency romance. There's one that's called like traditional historical, and then one that's like Regency romance. And the historical traditional ones were like usually still focused on like humor. I guess humor is like a big part of these books. But it was like humor, witty banter and dialogue, but that there was like it was pretty historically accurate. So like very minimal, like I mean there was romance, but like no kissing or anything like that.
And can it be from any time period since it's just historical romance?
Technically, yes. So like some people have brought up like Gone with the Wind, even though that's like not like people don't usually associate that with like a historical romance, but like technically that does kind of fall into that category. But the difference is like that it's more researched so that like all of those elements like really are accurate. Like the girl that popularized what?
When was Gone with the Wind written? Because I thought, let me look it up.
Yeah,
Gone with the Wind was written in 1939?
Oh yeah, in 1936.
No, 1936. Cause that's interesting to me too. Cause it's like it's a historical romance, but it was also written almost 100 years ago. So it's like,
yeah. I actually don't even know what time
on multiple
period.
levels.
When does Gone with the Wind take place?
Like the Civil War. So like the 1800s.
Oh,
when was the Civil War?
I have never watched Gone with the Wind. Have you?
Yeah, when I was little, it's like my mom's favorite book. So I watched the movie when I was little, but I was way too young to appreciate it.
It says that it's not technically classified as a romance novel, but that it actually had a big influence on like the way characters are portrayed in historical romances. But yeah, it says that like some of the earliest popular romance novels were like Jane Austen and Charlotte Bronte, but that they aren't technically like in that genre. And so yeah, 1970s is when it really picked up. And it even started something called the Romance Wars. It was like a big like publishers were like battling over these romance books. And it's all because of Harlequin, because they started like apparently this was groundbreaking at the time, but they started selling books outside of traditional booksellers. So like drugstores and supermarkets, which is now like so normal for us.
Yeah.
To like, you can find books at Walmart, Target, whatever,
That's funny though, because that does seem to be the main type of book that they
that we
sell
see
at
there.
grocery stores, like books with Fabio on the cover or like historical romance.
Okay, speaking of Fabio, this is where I had a fun fact, okay? Fabio. I've heard the name Fabio, and I had no idea that like he was known for this like
He was a real person.
I didn't connect that he was on the romance covers. Okay. Guess how many romance books he's been on the cover of?
700.
And this was the 1990s, just for people to know.
Okay, actually maybe more. I'm gonna go with 1,000.
Okay, it's technically the most that they can confirm. It says 450, but I did read like there's all sort. People are like, no, it's this many. No, it's this many. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to like track that exact number.
Yeah, that seems
like why it's
easily
a number that's
trackable
debated. Yeah, and he actually wrote a romance novel himself. I think
really?
like after being on the cover, like he's like, hey, wait. If people like me, how would I just write my own? But yeah, he was on 450 romance covers. Going back to like the 1970s. This romance war was specifically like historical romances, the bodice rippers is what really like this all launched. And by the end of the 1970s, Harlequin was selling more than 70 million paperbacks.
Wow.
Of like bodice ripping romances.
That's crazy.
So that was kind of crazy to hear, but it's
we should
like,
read one that was like written in the 70s.
Okay, yeah. So, and I'll tell you who. So there's a woman that was kind of credited with like starting this genre in the 1930s. All of a sudden, like I can't
in the 1930s.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when like the genre like really started. And the 1970s is when it like really took off.
Okay.
But it was the 1930s. Her name was Georgette Heyer.
Okay.
And she really helped develop this genre. She's like credited with it. So like I said, some people will try to credit like Jane Austen and people are like, well, no, like that's something different.
Right.
So hers were like more traditional. They weren't like
they weren't like open door
steamy ones. Yeah. But she kind of like started this genre. She's credited with it. But she wrote some other books later in life too, like mysteries and stuff. And it's said that like her husband is the one that like wrote the plot outline and stuff, and that she would just then like write the story based on his plot. And I've just read way too many things about historical women doing really cool things and their husbands like needing to take some sort of credit in that.
Yeah.
I'm just not buying it.
You think she came up with the plots herself?
Yeah, I think she just wrote the book.
For the thrillers, they were saying he came up
like
with
mysteries.
The plots for the mysteries or the romance too.
I think just the mysteries.
Like a woman isn't smart enough to come up with a mystery plot.
Yeah, like would that be a way in the 1930s to sell it to more men? Of like, oh well, it was
I don't know.
Partially written. I don't know. I'm just choosing not to believe it. But I have no reason to. But yeah, there was just some pretty cool readings on it, but not Regency romance related, but similar. What book spawned the chick lit genre?
What's chick lit? Like what we read?
Chick, yeah, women's lit, yeah, like the rom-com chick flick kind of feeling.
Okay.
Because this was like really big and then it took a turn, and this book is what kind of like helped that whole subgenre really take off.
Is it going to be really obvious to me when you tell me?
It's a movie, and I know you've heard of it, but I'm not sure if you've watched it. But it does star an actor, a male actor that we've watched recently.
Oh no, I feel like I should. And it's based on a book?
Oh, it actually has two. Okay. It's got one actor that I know you really like. You like him in another TV show, a BBC miniseries, perhaps.
Is it Bridget Jones' Diary?
Yes. Bridget Jones' Diary is a notable turning point that spawned the chick lit subgenre by presenting a flawed character with the same problems as the women that read it. That was like new for that time period. And I didn't actually even know until I read that Bridget Jones' Diary was a book.
I thought it was based on Pride and Prejudice. Oh. Bridget Jones' Diary is an act. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of like Austen Land. Like, she's obsessed with Pride and Prejudice, but it's like a modernized.
Not gonna lie, I actually have no idea what Bridget Jones' Diary is about.
I thought it was basically the plot of Pride and Prejudice, but I've also never seen it. And remember, we're worried we might not like it because it's written by the same. Well, no, it's based on a book.
Yeah.
But did the screenwriter also wrote Notting Hill?
And it's got Hugh Grant. That's who the other hint was.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I just don't need to watch him in anything else.
Well, I'll probably have to watch that when I do like my Pride and Prejudice series.
Yeah. You will watch it. It would be fun for you to like mix in like some of those modern ones, but
Yeah.
I'll watch it if you tell me to. But okay, my last question. This is like the evolution of the genre, the romance genre as a whole. So it kind of starts in the 70s, like really big, bodice rippers. Then we move into like chick lit with Bridget Jones' Diary. So what book really popularized more of these like erotic type romance books? And this one is
50 Shades of Grey.
Exactly. Yep.
Really?
It is. Which again, we can credit to Twilight. So
it all comes back to Twilight.
It really is crazy the cultural impact it's had.
Well, it's interesting too because 50 Shades of Grey, like, it's not the same type of vibe of the romance books that we read.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that it helped normalize. Now, Ryan's AirPods just connected to his laptop, so now I can't hear you. So you better send us home, I guess.
All right, well, Issa can't hear me right now. We had a malfunction, a technical difficulty. Well, what a way to end this podcast. We hope everybody enjoyed it. We'll see you next week not next week, on Friday, we'll watch Sandakan. There's 8 episodes. It's on Netflix, so you still have time to watch it with us. And then we'll see you in March.
Bye.
Bye.